Hey everybody, Mark again here, WeatherMan Plus. Happy Friday to all of you. So I will show you all the information. I'm going to show you the wind gusts. I'm going to show you the best chances for hail, timing on these storms, as well as the heavy snowfall that's coming with it as well. All I ask, if you know somebody in these impacts, please help the next family find this video, share this information, like the video. Leave a comment if there's something that you want me to answer for you, because it is going to be really bad, especially from 2 p.m. all the way to 10 p.m. That's going to be a big time of the area. Now you can see this morning we do have the blizzard warnings out here for South Dakota as well as southeastern Minnesota. Now this is not only blizzard warning, but it's also got the ice storm warning. This is where a lot of the transition is going to happening for the major snowfall. So I will show you that as well. But you do also have all of this red flag warning. Now you can see all the high wind warnings that you have in all this brown, but the red flag warning does cover multiple areas. As you can see, it does cover Colorado, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and portions of Missouri. So it's all hidden behind all of these high wind warnings. So there's going to be not only the chances for the high winds, you still have the chances for the fires, just like I showed yesterday. So first thing first, let's go through the instability. And you can see our same areas still the same. Pretty much a 7 out of 10 in these red areas of your best chances to see the tornadoes. Matter of fact, this up here is your best chances to see a lot of the hail as well as the tornadoes. And down here in the south, a good chance for tornadoes as well. But as you look at your CAPE, your instability, you see as we go through the evening, right around 11 and 12 o'clock, it really builds up all the way from Arkansas, Missouri, all the way into Iowa as we go all evening long. Then we get a second round that comes later into Illinois, and it stretches all the way down towards Arkansas as well. So it is going to be a lot of people with second rounds, and I am going to see 2 storms myself over here in Milwaukee. But you have a lot of lift, especially in Iowa. That's where I see a lot of your hail, and Illinois as you get all this lift all the way to 5 and 6 o'clock. So a lot of storms are going to be brewing, and it's still going to push further to the east until about 9 or 10 o'clock for Indiana. Then it's going to stay further to the south a little bit longer, all the way towards midnight before the instability starts leaving northern Mississippi, and everybody else just has thunderstorms, and pretty much your tornado threat will be gone by then. But until then, we have a lot of instability, guys. Look how much of an area just grows to a big line of severe weather, damaging winds, chances for tornadoes, and the hail. Now, National Weather Service still has it as intense and widespread severe thunderstorms are expected this afternoon into the overnight hours across portions of the middle Mississippi Valley and mid-south vicinity. Eastward to the lower Ohio and Tennessee valleys, intense, damaging gusts, and several tornadoes. Some strong and long track, and it is expected by National Weather Service, guys. Now you can see a whole area that's under the risk for chances for hail, but right here is where you have your chances for your large hail, all in this orange. And you can see with HRRR, everything's going to be HRRR, that you have some hail cores coming out of these storms definitely by 1 p.m. for northern Missouri, and then it goes towards Iowa and western Illinois as you go all through the afternoon. Builds up by 4 p.m. for your best chance for Illinois, Peoria, all the way to Freeport for chances for large hail. But it stays in Iowa, definitely for Waterloo, all the way to 5 and 6 o'clock. Chances for very large hail once you get to that point. You still have it for western Illinois, and it's going towards northern Chicago at that time. But once you get towards 7 and 8 o'clock, that's pretty much where your hail cores are going to stop. So there is a very intense lines of storms, and they are bringing a lot of chances of large hail for northern, western Illinois, and for central, eastern, and northern Iowa. And Iowa looks like it has the best chance for the hail. So we've been having these storms all morning long, and this is not any part of the severe part. This is just thunderstorms, and I can count for that over here in Milwaukee. There's been some pretty loud thunderstorms for this morning. As this all pushes to the east, you start getting that transition for South Dakota, also for Minnesota. But once we go towards 12 and 1 o'clock, then it starts popping up all these cells in this area where it's starting to get a lot of instability, like I showed you with the Cape. And these cells starts getting a little bit dangerous. And you can see that right here. You have these cells up here. They're all getting a chance for a tornado to pop out of those around 1 o'clock this afternoon. You also have it down here next to Little Rock. So you definitely got to watch out for that, because Arkansas is definitely in the bullseye as well. And as you go forward, you can see how these storms just grow, and you still have the hail cores in them right above Little Rock. Now we're going by 2 p.m. all the way up to Davenport. A clear line of storms pushing to the east, staying nice and strong. Once you get to 3, then it starts spreading out. This is where it starts going from Iowa, northern Illinois. You got some nasty hail cores all the way down towards Little Rock. Now, Little Rock, yours is going to push by once you get around 5 and 6 p.m. It's going to be out of your area. I'll go over the north side in just a bit. The north side needs a little bit more detail, to be honest with you. But you still have some hail cores in here as they pass by and go towards western Tennessee, northern Mississippi. Then that line comes in. Remember, there is some damaging winds behind this. I will show you as well. And once you go to 8 and 9 o'clock, it starts moving towards Nashville. 10, 12 o'clock, you're still getting some nasty hail cores in these all the way by 11 and 12. Still some strong storms moving through Tennessee, northern Mississippi, also for Kentucky, all evening long. And then it's going to go for tomorrow. Once you get around 2 o'clock in the morning, you still got nasty little hail cores in these storms as they pass by all morning long. And this is going to be the damage and wind event. You can see how big and broad this line is all the way towards Ohio, with these damaging winds pushing behind it. But if you remember, the instability is all in this region, so the tornado threat will be gone at that point. Now, once you get around 3 and 4 o'clock, this is where it gets really strong. From 3 o'clock all the way to 6 to 8 o'clock is where it's really strong, especially for Iowa and Illinois. This is where you're getting a lot of your lift, the strongest parts of your cape and your instability, and these storms really brew up really strong, especially for Iowa, northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin. Look at all the hail cores that you're getting in this line as it swings by all evening long. Starting to get some heavy snow for Iowa. Now, all these storms is going to be some very heavy banding. That's why your snow amount is just going to be so much. But once you push through 5 and 6, all the way to 7 o'clock. And if you notice, from Milwaukee, you're going to get storms coming through for northern Illinois, all the way to southern Wisconsin, all the way from 5, 6 o'clock. And then you're going to get another line of storms pushing through around 7 and 8 o'clock tonight. And the whole time, it's on the pivot point right over here by Minnesota. So not only storms on one side, freezing rain and snow on the other side. Then as that pushes through all evening long by 10, 11 o'clock, still getting that heavy banding of snow. And that's where Iowa gets in on the snow. So first, Iowa has a chance for tornadoes, large hail. Then Iowa's going to get this heavy snow. So you're going to get all bands of this severe weather. Now, you do have these storms that's pushing towards Wisconsin, Illinois. You see the big bowing out as you go towards 6 and 7 o'clock tonight, and going into Michigan, but it don't have the lift. So Michigan, you can see a lot of storms, a lot of chances for damaging winds, but not a lot of chances for any tornadoes or anything like that. It's just going to be 2 rounds of storms pushing through all evening long. And as you go from 8 to 9, 10, you see you're still getting a little bit of hail in there as this goes down. And this is by 10 o'clock at night. You got storms going across. You got heavy snow on a wraparound. You got all these storms going all the way to the south. But you got these 2 bands that's coming by. This is your warm front pushing all the way up, and this is your cold front pushing to the east. So it's a lot of storms going with this area, with hail in coming out of these storms all evening long. 10, 11 o'clock at night, instability is gone. You don't have the chances for tornadoes. But now you got all these storms moving across central Tennessee. Nashville's still getting a hail. You're getting a bowing out. You get a damaging winds as it goes through 11, 12. Storms moving across Ohio, going towards the intercoastal northeast now, all evening long. Across Kentucky, Tennessee, northern Alabama getting in on it now. By 3 o'clock in the morning, you still got a nasty little band going all the way from West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, Knoxville, Tennessee, all across Huntsville, close to Birmingham, right across center of Mississippi. And for Rolling Fork, you're over here in between Greenville and Jackson. You have your storms moving through. You're right on the edge of the severe weather. But your storm is going to be moving through anytime from 10 o'clock tonight all the way to possibly 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. So y'all will see some more rain come down on y'all area. Even though y'all are doing a lot of cleanup, it shouldn't be too rough for y'all, but it is going to rain on y'all. And these storms are going all the way to the east for tomorrow, 8, 10 o'clock in the morning. Still got storms brewing up even across the northeast. None of that being tornadic. All that tornado chances is for this area right here. This is going to be a big night, guys. Now, I'll go through your wind gusts in just a second. You can see with the snow difference that it does get some very heavy banding as you go through southern Minnesota. And this is all the way by 9 o'clock tonight. It's going to start transitioning really heavy. Northern Wisconsin, southern Minnesota is still going. It's going towards Rochester, but Rochester really transitions a little late. But it does go all the way towards Green Bay with some heavy banding. Then it goes into Iowa towards Cedar Rapids. You just had severe weather today. Now you're getting snow on a wraparound, so you really have all kinds of weather you need to prepare for. Now, National Weather Service has put this out, so best for your timings. You can see your areas 1, 2, 3, and 4. So area 1, 5 to 7 p.m., storms quickly organizing and racing out of the area west of the Mississippi River. Area 2, 6 to 8 p.m. This is your greatest threat for Galesburg, Peoria, Havana, and Jacksonville. Area 3, 7 to 9 p.m. Greatest threat for Bloomington, Springfield, Decatur, and Champaign. Plus Area 4, 8 to 10 p.m. Greatest threat for Danville, Paris, and Olney. Exit central and eastern Illinois by 10 p.m. Now, when we check our helicity values, which shows you the strongest of the updraft, which could be a chance for tornadoes, definitely chances for hail. You can see right around in 2 and 3 p.m., those cells that I showed you really start leaving a long track for western Illinois going towards northern Illinois. And now you're getting into the pink. Look how long these tornadoes, potential tornadoes, has a chance to be on the ground and strengthen as it goes by. Now, Iowa is getting involved as you go from 4 p.m. and on. Iowa starts getting some strong cells going by as these race across northern Illinois. Now, this one shows that it's going straight towards Chicago. Take that with a grain of salt. This is a model run. Even though it's HRRR, it is a very good high-resolution model. These cells are going to shift around north and south a little bit. It's never an exact outcome of what's going to happen, but it is your best look. And it's looking like some very tense coming from southeastern Iowa, northern Iowa, going towards northern Illinois, and racing across central Illinois is a great chance for the tornadoes. Then you have it going by Little Rock right around 5 p.m., going towards western Tennessee and northern Mississippi. Very strong cells going through there as well. So just be aware as it goes all evening long. Those are your best chances for a strong tornado out of this system. Now, National Weather Service has it very heavy snowfall as you go through South Dakota, also as you go through southern Minnesota, then upstate UP and northern Wisconsin for the heaviest of the snowfall. I will zoom in and show you the best ratings, and it has it for your freezing rain as well because it is going to transition. Mostly South Dakota looks like you have the best chance for a 1/4 inch or more before you get the snowfall, and northern Wisconsin. So just be aware with the winds, with the ice, with the heavy snowfall, definitely could be a great chance for power outages for you guys. But the snow's been adding up all morning long, and it really starts to get heavy as you go through the afternoon. 1 and 2 o'clock, it starts building up really heavy. Then it starts moving towards Minnesota and then goes towards northern Wisconsin and the UP. So altogether, it's some pretty heavy totals that we're getting on this snowfall. So let me see if I can show you the best way to see what's going on in your area. Northern Nebraska, good chance. Aberdeen, the hot spot is really over here by Iowa. Southern Wisconsin, all the green is all small amounts, guys. All the orange and the red is the big snowfall. Everything else, like Milwaukee, less than an inch. It's not going to be much at all. It is going to be a good transition. Iowa is going to get some good snowfall in it. Nebraska, northern Nebraska is Des Moines. It's going to be like Milwaukee, 1/2 inch. And it's not going to be too much on y'all, but it is going to be some good little snowfall ratings that comes down for you. Also for northern Michigan, you have a chance for almost 2 inches. It's a good bit of snow, not a lot, but the heaviness is definitely coming through South Dakota, southern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin. A big heavy strip of snowfall coming tonight. Now you can see on the winds, so let me go through the winds and show you what those are, and you can see how the biggest area is up here in the north for Iowa, northern Missouri, north and western Illinois. Y'all have the best chance for the highest winds, but I see high winds elsewhere as well. But you still have the big old section right here and the big slight risk of the 15%. So there's going to be winds with this for a lot of people as it pushes through. There's still over 50 million people in these severe weather threats for today. So as we get going, you can see as you go through this morning, it really booms up right when you get around 10 and 11 o'clock. And now what you're looking at is the orange is the 40s. The orange is the 40s. The red is getting towards the 50s. The pink is getting towards the 60s. When you see the purple, you're going to be getting towards the 70s. And yes, we do have some of that as well. Not a lot of it, but there is some, like you can see right there, higher elevations in New Mexico, very slight. For 1 p.m., there's a little slight chance for it to get up into the 70s. But you get a lot of 40s and 50s with a big line of 60s. That pink is all 60 miles per hour wind gusts as you go through early this morning, all the way to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now it moves through Missouri. You're going to see 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts all evening long, 5, 6, all the way to 7 o'clock. Then it starts going towards Illinois. And believe it or not, this is where I see a lot of the high winds. This is a little bit of the HRRR, and you can see the wide spread area. You got all the way to the south with the 40s. You got a big area of 40s and 50s. And now you get into the 60s and 70s. Now all that is 60s and it has some 70s in it. So if you take a look, you can see that this is all 60s in the pink. You got 50s in the red. But you get up towards 70 in that purple, and that's hurricane force. You're even getting 60s down here. You're getting some high 50s over here towards Kentucky. It's just a big line of just nasty storms with nasty winds right behind that all the way to 10 and 11 o'clock at night. Still pushing, not to mention all this, still pushing 50 and 60 miles per hour wind gusts through that storm line as it keeps going all the way until 3 o'clock in the morning. So there's going to be a lot of high winds, especially on the north side. Look, this is going towards Indiana, southern Michigan, and going towards Ohio as you go into 10 o'clock to midnight for tonight. And look at that. You got 70s in there. All that purple is 70s. You got 70s all in this line as it pushes through each one of these states. And that's high 70s right there. That's almost 80 right there. It's going all the way down, 70 miles per hour. Definitely hurricane force winds with that as that transitions through towards Michigan. Once again, there's some 70s in there. You got the 60s as well, the high 50s. But there's 70s all in this line as it pushes to the east. Very intense storms all night long. All the way till midnight, you're still seeing 50s in the red, 60s in the pink as it goes towards Detroit. Detroit, you're seeing 40s and then maybe some 50s, but it does weaken towards you. But it carries all even along across Ohio. Not to mention what's going on the north side. So not only are you getting snow, that's why you're having the blizzard warnings. Look at all these high winds that you have for the Dakotas, Nebraska, going into Iowa, Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, all the way into midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. Here's 2 o'clock in the morning. And you're still seeing high 50s in multiple states all over, all at one time. Even northern Wisconsin, western Illinois, all y'all are seeing high 50s, multiple. It's just, this is such a strong surface low pressure. It still had cyclogenesis. It was still a strengthening low. But after you get severe weather and you get all that snow, you're going to get some winds as well as you go through 5 o'clock in the morning for Iowa. You get up into the 60s. Everybody else is still in the 50s. This is a very broad system, not to mention what's going south for tomorrow. Look at all the winds that come through again for the Ohio Valley for tomorrow as you go all the way from the morning till noontime. Very high winds. And they pick right back up into the 50s and 60s for tomorrow as those storms push to the east. So it's just bringing a lot of high winds. You even get 70s for the higher elevations again. This is going to be a very strong system all night long. And don't forget, we still have that second system coming Tuesday and Wednesday. It even has a bigger enhanced section. So here's your cities and states at risk for that second storm, and it's still showing stronger, guys. And you see right here with the Euro that it still has that cap where it don't produce any storms really all day until late afternoon where it finally busts that cap. And then you start getting them storms. And that looks like an overnight system as well. Heavy snowfall and wraparound, tight isobars, a lot of winds. But a lot of storms that's going to come all night long into the early morning hours for Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's going to be a strong system as well, almost in the same area. And Euro still picking up. That one's going to bring a lot of high winds with that as well. That's going to be in the 50s and 60s. And it'll probably get stronger as we get closer. Now remember, we are giving away another solar weather station for today. So of course you must be a subscriber. You must hit the like button and you must put the comment WeatherMan in the comments. We've been doing it for months. We're doing it all year long. AccuRite is celebrating 80 years. So we're going to celebrate with them all year long as well and give one away every other day. I will announce the winner on Sunday when I come back from Sabbath. Well, out of everything in this video, I truly hope I helped you time in some way how you can prepare for this. God bless you and your families. Everyone watching this, I hope that you will be safe tonight. Remember, it will be quick movers. So whenever you get the warnings, make sure you shelter in place. It's not going to be the time to be on the streets or do anything. Check on your elders, check on your pets, and check on your neighbors. Make sure you be a good neighbor, guys, because everybody's our brothers and sisters, especially in God's eyes. Matter of fact, God is love. So the best thing you can do is show love to one another. Thank you so much for your time. Today I want to read to you 1 John chapter 4, 6 through 8. We are of God. He that knoweth God heareth us. He that is not of God heareth not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone that loveth is born of God and knoweth God. He that loveth not knoweth not God, for God is love. Amen. I know that my content's a little different today. I didn't show you a lot of the other graphs that I normally show. I thought this would be the best way to help you all prepare for what's coming so you can see a little more zoomed in. I apologize if you're not used to it, you didn't like it. I hope it did help you. But remember, above all things, all glory goes to God. Our Father in heaven, Yahweh, and he will keep you safe. Remember, he did say that he will not destroy us. He will scorn us, but he will not destroy us, for he loves us, and God is love. Amen. Hallelujah. But seriously, God bless you all and be very safe tonight.